today?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Connor. So, how's the day so far?
Pretty good. My my internet went out of my house, so I had to go into. I'm actually at work. It's totally fine, but like, yeah, I'm at my work right now in like a conference room. So kind of weird. I had to like rush over once I realized my internet wasn't working to get over here. So a little stressed, but I think it's all good now.
Wonderful, wonderful, Connor. So, Connor, Born, your new album is to be out on August 15th. So, can you tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new album?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's basically some songs that we've been writing for a while. Like some of them dating back before before COVID,
Hmm.
um, and basically they're just kind of like prog compositions, things that I've been working on uh, over the years, and just decided to get everyone together and actually like record all these songs that we've been like trying to play shows with and work on with like COVID getting in the way was like kind of tough,
Yeah,
but kind of just put it all together. So pretty excited about it.
sounds good. Sounds good. And
Hey, can I ask you a question? Sorry, is this interview like is this whole thing going to be like on the is it like a written one or is it going to be
it's,
video?
it's going to be a video, Connor.
All right, cool. All right, just wanted to know. We can okay. Anyway, it's cool.
So, Connor, is there any particular concept that was put behind this album?
Um, no, I wouldn't say there's any concept really. I mean, I think there's definitely underlining themes of kind of like dystopia or kind of like impermanence or I think like the name Birth is kind of about life cycles and like growth and um, you know the things of that kind of nature. So I'd say most like the lyrics and the content is kind of on that page.
Sounds good. And I believe the cover art has something resembling whatever you just said.
Yeah, exactly. David DeAndre is someone I've been following for a long time, so we're really excited to work with him on it. But yeah, he really nailed it. Like I kind of like talked to him over emails a little bit, just kind of about what birth is and what it's about. Um, and like if it's one of those art pieces that I think you kind of like stare at for like a long time. But it really does kind of capture that kind of like life and death and kind of the nature of that.
Sounds amazing. And talking about the album, six amazing songs, beautiful, beautifully done, great orchestration, and it goes all way back to the 70s roots of progressive rock, and it all sounds really amazing. And as a band, how do you feel about the outcome of this album?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. You never really know, when you write these kind of songs, you go, like we went pretty deep into them with the songwriting, kind of rewriting and, throwing out parts, putting in new parts. And sometimes you get so lost in it that you don't really understand exactly how it's going to turn out until like until you actually put the vinyl on and listen to it, and I think it's kind of interesting for me, like you put it out, you have to kind of like separate yourself from it for for a month maybe before I could really like sit down and just kind of have the experience kind of more from like almost an outsider point of view. And it just recently being able to do that, I was kind of I was pretty like happy, like all kind of judgment aside and just kind of listening to it. I think it really like it came out pretty good. Obviously, like as an artist, I'm always kind of like my worst critic. I think always there are some things I probably like would perfect, if given the time. But like just kind of like trying to hear it from an outsider's perspective. I think like I'm really happy with it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And do you guys have any special plans on the day of the release on July 15th?
Not on that particular day, nothing. But the following week, we're setting up some shows, so we'll have some record release parties and shows over in California.
Mhm. Sounds great. And how is the touring plan looks for you guys this year?
That's the extent of it right now. So it's with COVID, everything kind of got booked out, and so we've had trouble, because we didn't book anything in advance. We're really just kind of working on this album and trying to get all that recorded. But so we'll have those shows in July, and we might have some more shows later in the year. But I think we're working on a more like maybe even international tour, and for 2023. That's the hope. That's what we're kind of working on right now.
Sounds good. Sounds
Everything's a long ways away.
good. And how has the musical journey been for you guys so far?
It's been amazing. I mean, there is, like I said, with like birth, trying to get everything together pre-COVID, and then during COVID, it was there's a like desolate times where like I really didn't think it was gonna work out. It's been it's actually like really tough, and there are points where like I kind of almost was tempted to give up on it, but really like yeah, everything kind of just came together in the last year. I kind of you know really feel like it was something that like we kind of just kept with, and it's pretty like awesome to actually see it actually evolve into a record and something we're gonna like tour with. So it's awesome.
Sounds good. And would you like to share some of the great moments that you had over the years?
Huh. Well, over to be honest, it's been pretty brutal. Like I don't think like it was actually really like signing to Bad Omen and kind of playing some shows with Earthless, like within the last like 4 months, I'd say it's really like kind of started to pay off and be a pretty cool thing. Um, Before that, it was just a lot of like trudging and like and work to get this done with like everything that was happening in the world, everything that was happening with us. And so yeah, it's like I'd say like the best moments have really like happened in the last 6 months, and I think we have some really cool things coming up, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And musically speaking, will you be doing a lot of changes in the upcoming years to the type of music that you're creating?
I don't know. I mean, there's no real rules in it, and I think like there's like the Born is a pretty like diverse album, and we have a couple new songs that we're gonna be playing at some of our shows, and they're kind of heavier in a way, and darker, but um, some of the stuff that I've been kind of working on, it isn't that way at all. So some of it is more like gentle, I'd say, but um, yeah, it's hard to say exactly what the direction's gonna be, but I'd say
Mm,
the only thing is like it's there's really like no rules to it, so it kind of be all over the place.
gotcha. Gotcha. And any plans to come up with an official music video before the release of the album?
Wait, say that again? What?
Or any plans for coming up with an official video from this album before the release?
An official radio?
Video, music.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, actually, we actually just posted something on Instagram about we did just a a video shoot um, with a friend of ours from Metal Blade, and uh, yeah, there'll be more on that soon. But I think like probably within the next couple of months, or probably by the time the album comes out, have a video up.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And any big dreams that you have on your mind?
Dreams. uh, I want to go out to Europe with this. I want to travel. I want to go back on the road. Um, I think that's kind of like the near term dream, I'd say. I think long term, really, I'm just happy with like having an outlet for writing music. I mean, I love that other people are listening to it. I mean, that's pretty cool. So I just, want to keep doing it, kind of like just for as long as I can.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Conor, finally, do you have any message for the fans around the world?
Oh yeah, well, thanks for listening. It's awesome. I love getting the messages. Sometimes people write us emails about how much they like the music, or like kind of what it means to them and stuff like that. And those things are awesome to hear. I mean, like I said, like I kind of just write the music as like a creative expression, and sometimes like it doesn't, I don't really know like what the response is going to be, and so just to hear like that people are actually digging it and listening to it is always awesome. So thanks.
Sounds good, Conor. And Conor, thank you so much for giving me today this opportunity to have this interview with you. A real pleasure to meet you. And thank you for putting up an amazing album, Born, this year. A great pleasure to listen to this album as a complete album. Brilliant work again from you guys. Thank you so much for that. And I wish you and the entire band all success in the coming days.
Sweet. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. Take care, Conor. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye.